live from the Main Event Studios in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for February 2nd, 2025. You have entered the Generation Evolution. I'm Blake.
Christian.
And Christian just got out of bed, even though I woke up an hour ago. We started doing the show an hour late. He still sometimes find a way to sleep in. Anyway, it is the day after the Royal Rumble. And we're supposed to be joined by Kelly Wells. He may drop in. I don't know. I didn't know. Let's see if he shows up. I don't know. But that being said, before we even get into things, we are opening up with Papa Roach. Even if it kills me. This was the song that was the anthem of the Cody Rhodes, Kevin Owens match. So, and I was like, you know what? This is perfect. It's a brand new song. I want to play brand new music here. So why not? It's everybody up. So. All right, it is the day after the Rumble. Christian, how are you doing today?
Tired.
Tired. They show ended at 10:30. And the guy's exhausted.
It was a good show though. It was very good.
Yeah, we'll get into everything. We'll get into all the fun. Hello, who's watching? At least one person watching. Hello. We're also trying today. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, and we're on Twitch for the first time because Instagram is being a pain in the butt when it comes to live streams right now, so we're going to go over to Twitch for now. So if you are watching live, you want to comment, just comment below, and we will put the comments up on the screen.
Yep.
So I don't know if this is going to be a long show today because we were just pretty much going to look back at the Royal Rumble, the pay-per-view itself, the winners, the losers, and everything in between, including the two big Royal Rumble winners. Let's start with that. How about we start with the Royal Rumble winners and the two Royal Rumble matches. We'll start with the women, and I'm going to have a bottom scroll on the bottom of the. Actually, I forgot to do one thing. I forgot to take this off the screen. There we go. Perfect. So anyway, what? It's going. The computer's going a little slow today. I think I set it up so early. It's going a little slow today. All right, so our Royal Rumble winner for the women is now a two-time Royal Rumble winner. It is the returning Charlotte Flair.
First one.
What?
First two-time.
Yeah, first two-time Royal Rumble winner for the women. It is Charlotte Flair returning from injury. She was gone for over a year. I didn't realize it was that long. You know, story-wise, that makes sense for Charlotte to win based on the whole doing the men's Rumble all the time, where it's injury and back gone for a year, win the Rumble, go to WrestleMania. I don't know how I feel. Christian, Charlotte win the Rumble. Your thoughts?
I don't know what to say. I really don't. I don't really like her, but it's good to see her back because she's been gone for so long. But I didn't really expect her to win it. But
what's weird is she was like the consensus pick on all the podcasts I listen to. And we do. Hang on a second. We have to stop for 1 second. We have a special guest in the queue. Let's bring up his music and get him on the show.
I knew this was going to be the best part of being on your show. Because when I'm on your show, I just let loose. Good God, that might be the worst thing about not just Punk, but anyone.
Axiom equals scrumptious man candy.
And well, they had a Who's Your Daddy match where
I don't remember saying scrumptious man candy, but I'm not surprised it did.
Yeah, let's welcome Kelly Wells from the PW Torch to the show, our Royal Rumble expert. Kelly, welcome to the show. Good timing. We were just getting Royal Rumble.
Yeah, perfect. I don't know why I forgot about this. I shouldn't forget anything Rumble related, but yeah, I had some of my very best friends over last night. One of them is actually only in town. We haven't watched a Rumble together since 2000, and he was only in town because of a tragedy. Guy our age. I didn't know him, but he was good friends with him. So he was in town and he stayed late, and we talked about the fact we're all going to die someday. So I'm in a weird state.
Sunday morning conversation. But
What's that?
anyway, I said a pleasant Sunday morning. Start of the week here. Let's talk about death. Let's talk about death.
Let's indeed.
So, well, welcome to the show. First time here on the Generation Evolution, the Christian show. We're in a studio. We have a new studio and everything. We moved down to a new studio. So.
Oh, okay. I'm in the same room as always. There's my Pac-Man wall back there. So yeah, no changes. Yep, and my wall of childish junk that I keep close at hand because that's how I do things.
We had a Hardy Boy banner behind it, but it fell down overnight. I gotta fix that. I gotta fix that. So, but anyway, let's talk about the Rumble. We were just getting into the Women's Royal Rumble, and talking about how the consensus pick was Charlotte Flair. I guess it's what it is.
Yep.
Kelly, your thoughts on Charlotte winning the Rumble?
I mean, you couldn't do a more boring finish. Very straightforward, very obvious that they were going to go this way, to the point where some people were picking against her solely because of how obvious they thought it felt. I did end up picking her to win. I didn't see them doing it another way. What I didn't expect was them trying to make her happen as a babyface upon return, because people still don't like her. They still don't necessarily want to see her. They're not into the I want to win a million title reigns. When it got down to her and Nia and Roxy, I was just like, oh my God, they're trying to make Charlotte the babyface happen again. I thought if they had her win, it was at least going to be as a heel, because you would have to think she's kind of got a built-in story for either champion. The Rhea one makes more sense because Rhea can finally get her win like she was supposed to once upon a time, when they couldn't tell the whole story that they wanted to tell, where Triple H even said there was supposed to be a lot more to that story and COVID just knocked it all out. So they wanted to do it a different way. What was more tiresome about the women's match was it was really poorly booked. There was one point where half of the field was in the match. So you couldn't get into a story. It was just a mishmash of nothingness happening. Just punches being thrown and people not trying to land on other people's legs. As a match, I couldn't believe how just lazily booked it was. But, nothing but good things to say about what they did with Roxanne Perez. I knew it was time to bring her up, but I didn't know they'd give her so much time.
Yeah. Well, let's get into who our surprise entries. First, we'll talk about NXT. You mentioned Roxanne Perez. We had Last Legend, Jada Parker, Stephanie Bakir, and the NXT Women's Champion, continuing the tradition of the NXT Women's Champion being in the Rumble. Julia. All cool surprises. I actually didn't expect to see Stephanie and Julia by the time we got near the end of the Rumble. I'm not gonna lie. But again, we were also expecting Becky and all these people that didn't show up. So we were expecting that. So it was a nice surprise.
Yep.
Kelly, NXT, you're also the NXT person here. Thoughts on these women and all these women? I was happy to see Jada. I'm still happy to see Jada Parker up in the limelight, and Stephanie and Julia are them. So your thoughts?
On my NXT show, I predicted correctly that Roxy, Jada, and Lash would all be in the Rumble. Those I thought were layups. I was surprised too. I mean, Stephanie and Julia, if anybody had just jumped the line and gone straight to the main roster, it would have been these two. So I'm not surprised because they are that good. And perhaps I should have seen it coming because Roxanne, this was actually like her fourth Royal Rumble. It was either her third or her fourth. So even though Roxanne hasn't been called up yet, although I think we're on like the final week or so before she's called up. So yeah, maybe I shouldn't have been surprised by Steph and Julia. Once I saw Steph, I knew we'd see Julia. And they're both in storylines down there. So this isn't a call up. It'll probably be another year for them. They'll do some more with them. That's more going to be about learning production, rather than learning wrestling because they don't need to. But yeah, Lash has had one foot in the door for a while. Jada has done everything they need her to do down there, and she's been off TV for like 3 weeks. So I thought maybe that was indicative of a call up. And Roxy, I think I don't think anybody who was watching Weekly didn't think that Roxy was about to be in this thing. But to be the runner up, that was badass. That was pretty cool.
Christian, you're not the NXT person, so I'll ask you the question about the NXT wrestlers that came out. We were nuts. Your thoughts on the NXT women that came in?
I mean, I called Julia. I called that she would be in the Rumble, and for the other ones, and I know they're all good competitors, and seeing them in the Rumble to show off and to show everyone who they are was a great thing to have.
Yes. Much like Kelly, I was very surprised that they made Roxanne not only the Iron Woman, they had her in there for an hour 7:47, which is now the record for the longest woman in a Rumble.
Yep, which
is insane.
Which Liv and EO before they got eliminated, they'd say they beat the record as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Our top 3 like longest reigns are now in this Rumble, which is crazy because last year Bayley broke the record. So like it's weird. Bayley broke the record last year. Yeah, it's really crazy. So hi everyone that's watching. Any comments, please comment below. We'll put it up on the screen.
And then
also I know over last year.
Hello, people watching.
Yeah, last year we had Kelly on after the Rumble, and Nia Jax is one of the people that returned.
Yep.
And Nia and Chelsea were in last year's Rumble's return. About this at all.
I do want to say something about Nia Jax's return. They fumbled the shit out of that last year.
Yeah, well, she was champion this past year, though. She did have a good year. And I always say that the Rumble match is kind of the culmination.
She had a good year of being booked.
So
she wrestled like shit.
9 eliminations for Nia Jax. Fair enough. But she got on elimination.
Amen.
It is the most eliminations for a woman in a Rumble match. It was like 6 at one time. At one point, it was a weird. As Kelly said, it was a really weird.
It was a whole shit show.
Yeah, as Kelly said, it was a weirdly booked Rumble.
It's not necessarily bad. It was just horribly.
It was weird.
It was rushed.
I can't explain it. It was weird.
It was
strange.
It was so rushed.
Yeah, the men's Rumble was a lot more structured, like Kelly said before. You know, it was a lot better structured. The women's one was kind of like, here's 25 people. We have to get eliminated in a matter of 5 minutes because we're running out of space.
And then number 30.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, well, and then we have what's going to surprise us. The returning, obviously, Charlotte Flair. And we were talking right before you came on, Kelly, that she was gone for over a year. We didn't realize it. You know, we didn't realize it's been that long that she's been gone. So as per tradition, you have that person return to a big hurrah. But then also you have the return of Alexa Bliss, who had one of the biggest pops of the entire night.
I would say the biggest.
Like the pop for Alexa was
by far.
Alexa Bliss's pop was so much better than Charlotte, whatever Charlotte had.
Yeah. For some reason my tablet just decided. Here it is. I said Alexa, and my tablet just yelled at me.
Shut up, tablet.
The return of Nikki Bella. Kelly, you're talking. I threw it to you, Kelly, about the return of Nikki Bella and your thoughts on it.
I mean, she's not interesting enough to be number 30 in a Royal Rumble.
That's what I said.
It was if they were going to do both her and Trish, they should have been switched. I understand that they stroke the egos of the Bellas, and they always have, and part of that might be because she's on the Traders right now, so they did some stuff with Peacock because that's where the Traders is, and she's on that, so that might have been their big thing, is that they were just doing some cross promotion there. But yeah, it was not. I had to look at my list because I kind of write it as it goes to actually be reminded she was in it, because she is not what's stuck in my head like at all.
And that says something for number 30.
Yeah.
If the number 30 does not stick in your head after the Rumble, it was not a good number 30 at all.
Yeah.
And I think he's having echo problems.
We're good. I'm just hearing you guys' problems on my phone. That's all. I'm just figuring that out.
Oh,
But
okay.
I don't know why. I'm actually trying to get the feedback up, so I'm gonna let you guys actually discuss for a couple of minutes the Final Four, and actually also I'm gonna throw it to you guys to see what you guys think who Charlotte should face at Mania while I get myself figured out here. So go ahead, gentlemen.
You go first. You go first.
Okay. So what I like about the Final Four is that it was unconventional. Like Nikki Bella, we didn't even know was going to be in it, and Roxanne Perez, we weren't sure was going to be in it. I was pretty sure, but I mean, she was not necessarily named or anything like that. But yeah, very cool, cool run for her. It suggests that they do have big things in mind for her beyond NXT, and they just really like what she's done as a heel. So that part was very cool. Nia being there is a big nothing burger for me. I would rather see Nia get in there early, maybe have like dominate the first 10 and then be gone because she's because she sucks. I can't put it any more simply than that. She's just not. I know they want her to be a monster and to work like a monster, and I get it, but
Do you at least give her credit for trying to get better in the ring over the years?
I think she's worse right now than she's been for a long time.
Okay, then.
I wish I didn't have to say that, but I don't think she's improving. I think she is actually backsliding.
Ooh.
I watch NXT 8 years back because that's one of the podcasts I do on PW Torch, and I legit think because 8 years back she's gone now, she's been called up, but I legit think she was doing better stuff during that run than she is right now. I think she's more I think she's clumsier now. I think she's worse now. She's had times where she was better than she was at NXT then, but I don't think that time is now. I think it's really rough watching her now, and if she's trying, that's great, but it's not showing. I also think the Rumble really suffered. It's clear that they filled the ring so full just so they could do that 6 eliminations at one spot, which great, but we've seen her eliminate like 6, 7, 8 people in the Rumble before, so it's not like that was anything special. That's just yet another thing where Triple H is a good booker in so many ways, but God, he loves breaking records, and he just does it over and over and over. And you don't need to break records to tell an interesting story. And he's just trying to make it so she eliminates enough people that it's unbreakable for a long time. But then he's going to get the itch, and he's going to have to start doing it with his next big. I don't know, when Zarya comes up, he'll have her eliminate like 15 people in a Rumble or something, because it's just. He just has to. He's addicted to these records being broken. Something like 70% of the people who chose 1 and 2 in the last 7 years have made it to the last round. It's a lot of 1s and 2s that happened. So when neither guy did in the men's, I was like, that's so refreshing that they're not doing the same thing with the first 2 getting to the end yet again.
Yep.
So I'm kind of off the rails here because I'm ranting big picture, but
No, go off. You're good.
Sure.
I think we have something
on a show that was so good. I might as well get the bad out of the way. But yeah, super excited to see Roxy there. I love what she's been doing.
She was also
Nikki,
the Iron Woman too.
You want her have her there as the Final Four legacy person. I can live with that. They've done that. Nia's not that interesting, but they put her in there basically to make it. Nia was there, and Roxy is kind of a nasty heel, and I guess the idea is this way Charlotte will be cheered. The problem is Roxy is so good, and it was so cool to see her go 67 minutes that I think they got to 2, and Charlotte winning is not what people wanted.
No, I don't think that's what they wanted either.
Yeah, I just think it was, if they were going to do Charlotte, they should have done it as a heel. As for who she's going to face, I think there are really good arguments for either one. Tiffany, because they haven't done that particular match before. But I would suggest that Rhea's the one, because they were trying to do something with a Rhea Charlotte story that got derailed by COVID. And I know I said this, but maybe they could do that story, or at least continue that story in a different way. It seems like they're doing something built in. But if that's what they're going to do, presenting Charlotte as a babyface is a really dumb idea, because you were not going to get cheered against Rhea Ripley.
So let's actually move on to the men's rumble. Well, I still figure out our tech issues over here, because I don't know why everything's being a pain in the ass today. This is what happens when you try to go live every single week. Let's go to the men. This one surprises a lot of people. I did not have this person on my radar as a winner. I did not expect him to win on no level.
Especially with the other person in the final two.
Yeah. Alas, here we are. Jey Uso is the 2025 Men's Royal Rumble winner. Yeah, Kelly, you see this one coming?
What's that?
You see this one coming or not?
You want to join? Are you sure?
Was I surprised by this? Is that what you asked?
Yes.
No, not really. He was in my top 3 to win. I think the story that they were telling with Gunther was so good that I think they figured if it went well, then there would be a good chance that he would end up winning. So, he was on my very, very short list of possible winners. And when it got down to final 3, I knew that he was winning. But until then, it was really, really in doubt for me. The only people I thought had any chance were probably Punk, Zayn, and Jay, because I could see a story for Zayn. Obviously, they got a story with Punk. I did not think this would be the way that.
I'm glad somebody picked it, because I wasn't even on my radar to go this route. So
I know he was gonna maybe make it to the final 6, maybe. Didn't expect him to win the whole thing.
No, absolutely not. I
especially
did not
with
expect that.
The final 2.
Yeah. So a little behind the scenes here. We were at home. We're watching it. It was me, Christian, Mark, and Mandy. We're all together, having a good time. We're actually texting my friend Josh and Sal. We'll have a little party. Christian turned into a little kid, yelling and screaming for John Cena to win this Rumble at the end, to the point where I swear if there would be a video if he was wearing a shirt when we're watching the show. There would be a video of this. If they're jumping around and screaming like crazy. Now it's time to think about it. I don't know where to go with this. On the post show, he called out Gunther. I don't know if anyone wants to see another Gunther do some action, but we may have it.
I mean,
that is definitely happening. I never doubted this at all.
I called it was going to be Gunther.
Yeah, Jay and Gunther was inevitable. Their
Kelly?
stuff on mic was so good against each other, and they're just perfect foils for each other, because Gunther is about no fun, and Jay is about pure fun. So it's like they're the perfect foils for each other. So yeah, I was not surprised by this result at all. And when it got down to the final 3, I thought it was inevitable. And when it was down to 2, I was like, Cena has no chance, because if he's going to win this, they are not going to put him in there with a baby face. The reason for him to be there was to really put over somebody once they got to final 2, because with a baby face, there was no chance that Cena was winning once they got to 2. So I said that Jay should have won this about 5 years ago, but that's the year he got COVID. And ever since then, I was like, he's going to win a Royal Rumble someday. And yesterday was the day.
I am just going to point out.
That's true.
I am just going to point out number 30 as Logan Paul. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's where you put him, because that gives everybody like somebody to cheer against. So I think that's the perfect place for him. Now he's got the kind of endurance where you could have done a 1 to the end thing with him, but I think it made way more sense to put him at the end to be like one final foil, because everybody's scared that he's going to win. He's not in any stories with the champions, so it wouldn't have made any sense. He wouldn't have had anything built in against either champion. They could have done him and Cody, but I think people maybe know what Cody's going to be doing at the at Mania. But yeah, I thought it was the perfect use of Logan Paul to be number 30 to really piss people off and make them think he was going to win, even though when it got to 3, I knew where they were headed.
Yep. What are your thoughts on Logan Paul being the one to eliminate Punk?
I think that makes sense too, because everybody, because people are really, really in the corner of Punk right now. For me, he's just like, I can take him or leave. Like, I don't think about him between shows, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Punk is not like somebody that I used to be really latched on to him, but we're talking straight edge society sort of era. And right now he's just a guy that I think probably should be losing some of these feuds that he's winning. Because like Drew was on such a hot streak and everything like that. But I think if Punk's not going to be in the title picture, and it looks like he's not, then you do something with Logan Paul that you know that people will really, really respond to. So I think that's a good use of these two guys for Mania.
I'm going to bring it up because it's one of the dumbest things that's happened. What are your thoughts on iShowSpeed being in the
I'm about
Rumble?
to ask you, Christian. Why don't you tell Christian?
That was hilarious.
Why don't you tell people who iShowSpeed is? Because this is more for your generation than ours.
Well, if my thoughts are correctly, he is one of the most well-known streamers. He's a big Ronaldo fan, and if you do remember, he was at last year's WrestleMania, who got RKO'd by Randy Orton.
Yep.
I didn't remember that. So
I thought it was a hilarious use of him. I thought it was a hilarious use of number 8. Made more hilarious by the fact that I was in a pool where 30 different guys picked numbers, and there were 4 of us in the room that were all in the same pool, and none of us were in until number 8. And number 8 comes out, and it's Tozawa, and the guy's like, already he's like, well, I got no chance. And then Tozawa gets pulled, and it's iShowSpeed, and it's even funnier watching my friend melt down because he knows that he's just in there to take a hilarious bump. Like he took a man-size bump.
Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, I thought it was a really, really funny use of him and of that number. I think that's the kind of thing you remember after the Rumble.
I mean, he got speared, and then afterwards he got thrown over the announce table.
Yeah.
I think iShowSpeed when iShow died.
Yeah.
That's a sentence. That's the sentence you just said. The other big surprise I do want to bring up here is our man Joe Hendry, who I was happy to see return. I'm not gonna lie, the music hit, and I was so glad the crowd was into it. Like I was so glad the crowd enjoyed the moment.
The entire arena was singing along.
Kelly, we haven't had you on in a while. What are your thoughts on the Joe Hendry phenomenon that has been going on for the last year now? We're obsessed with it here.
I like him. He's not a young guy, so if they're going to do anything with him, they have to like move on it. This is very much an LA Knight situation where he's already seen what would have been his WWE prime come and go as far as his age, because he's like almost 40, or maybe he is 40, but he's very close. And that doesn't have to mean it's over, but it just means that if they're going to do anything with him, it's got to be soon. I didn't think about the TNA WWE thing, which I should have, because I knew that WWE had signed Jordan Grace, so they got her, and nobody was surprised. That was a poorly kept secret that she would be showing up in this Rumble. And then I should have thought of Joe Hendry, but I just didn't. So when he came out, I think like smack dab in the middle, I think he was number 15 or so.
By the way, Joe Hendry is only 36.
36. All right, that's not so bad.
That's a good age. That's a good age.
I just looked it up because curiosity got the better of me.
So they don't do it every time. in NXT PLE, they sometimes do a pre-show or post-show with the media, and guys like me end up asking questions of Shawn Michaels. And I can tell you, they really, really like Joe Hendry as a person. They like working with him. They said he's easy to work with. They said he's really smart, and a lot of the stuff that he comes with are of his own, ideas. So there's a lot of stuff like that, and so they have nothing but good things to say about Joe Hendry. So it's pretty cool to see that he got this spot, and he was only there for a couple of rounds, but that happened to a lot of guys in this Rumble. So I think people are going to remember the appearance, even though it wasn't like this long run or anything that he had.
Well, I said it perfectly that now he forever is next to Roman Reigns in the record books of WWE. Because he came in before him and he was eliminated by him. So that's crazy.
And Roman Densmith didn't take 20 years.
Yep.
So
I mean, he's earned it, but yeah, you can't do it in a Rumble.
So the Iron Man of the match, by the way, ended up being Penta with 42 minutes and 5 seconds. Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, and Jericho.
Wait.
Was that Kelly?
I called Penta being the Iron Man. I've got that on both Twitter and Blue Sky. So I said Penta would be the Iron Man. I gotta take things that are right because I'm usually wrong.
Yeah. Well, Braun Breaker, Roman Reigns, and Jericho Battu all got 4 eliminations each to lead eliminations. Nice spread out. Unlike in a women's match, which was a nice surprise.
Yep.
Overall, I really enjoyed the Rumble. I enjoyed it probably more than most people did.
It was
I
not
thought it was
bad.
exciting.
I liked it.
Especially the second half. I thought it was so exciting. Yeah, Kelly.
I think this might be the best Royal Rumble ever. Like legit, This might be the best Royal Rumble match ever. I've gotta. So I'm obsessed with the Rumble. I've seen all of them at least 15 times, and I think that it's possible that this was the best one in terms of use of people. It's one of the very best in terms of people, it being wide open and there being reasons a lot of people could win. I really think that this is in the conversation with 92, 01, 10, a couple others in terms of ones that could be like the absolute best. You say you liked it better than most people. I think most people like this one. I think most people really, really like this men's match. And I think it's absolutely in conversation for the best ever. And I haven't felt that way about a new one for a long time, even though there haven't been very many bad Rumbles for quite a few years. Seems like the booking, Jamie Noble, ever since he took over the booking, they've been pretty good. I would love for guys who pick 1 and 2 not to be there at the end more often. But otherwise, I really, really like what they've done in booking Rumbles for like probably most of the last decade.
Cristian, what do you think?
The Rumble is great. I have to give it credit because it did have a lot of different people showing up, and a funny part with ISO Speed, and then the final 4, Punk getting eliminated by Paul getting eliminated by Cena and Jay in the final 2. I was going for Cena. If you don't believe me, I don't know why, but I was going so much for Cena. And then the AA spot on the apron, Jay gets out of it, back into the ring, pushes Cena off. Which was, I was not seeing Jey Uso win at all.
I love Cena just politely falling on the ground and stepping onto the ground so he didn't get hurt because he's going to a movie. So that made me laugh.
But then what happened after Cena's elimination was amazing.
Yeah, tell him.
Where he got back in the ring and, to be honest, passed the torch on to Jey Uso, hugged him, and then just raised his hand in John Cena fashion.
There you go.
Which was, I have to absolutely beautiful.
So I I will say this: we look forward to the Rumble every year, and they have a high standard now. As Tully just said, this was a fun night. I had fun, and sometimes at the end of the day, having fun is more important than anything else. You know, and if you can say you had the right experience and you're so into it at the end of the match, that is a big deal. So if you're that into it, because there are many rumbles where you're bored by the end, or it's like, oh, I don't want this person to win, so I'm out of it now. At least we had some
Mhm.
excitement near the end, where it's like, okay, I have no idea what the championship match is, but really, we need something to talk about on Thursday's show. So we'll do that on Thursday. Um, Kelly, thank you for putting up with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We apologize for this, but thank you for taking time out either way.
Yep.
So thank you.
I've done my share of
your pleasure.
podcasts. I've been on my share of podcasts that took a long time because stuff like this happened, and sometimes it was on my end. It's no fun.
Yeah, well, why don't you plug it up?
Yeah. So I'm on PW Torch. I do NXT there. I'm been the main guy covering that for like 9 years. It's been a long time. I do NXT 8 years back as well, which is probably close to coming to an end because we are going to catch up to where we actually started the NXT Modern podcast. So I think we're going to stop there. That's kind of what we both assumed. And if so, we've got like less than a year of that to go, which is too bad because I like doing that show with Tom. But maybe we'll figure out an excuse to put up something. At least keep talking about movies. But if you want to hear two snobs talk about movies, listen to NXT 8 years back because we talk NXT and then we talk movies. That is, and I cover New Japan Pro Wrestling there, wearing the lion mark today. I wore my Rey Mysterio shirt yesterday because it's the only shirt I have of somebody who has won a Royal Rumble. Oh no, I've got a Shawn Michaels shirt somewhere, but I have not been able to find it for some time. So I guess I could have gone either way. Yeah, Rumble is my favorite day of the year. Like literally yesterday, the only thing I was thinking about was the Rumble. So happy I could do a postmortem here. Yeah, good stuff, especially on a Rumble that was so good. So pretty exciting stuff there.
So, all right, we'll be back on Thursday. We'll look at the rest of the week and have it on Raw because I'm curious the aftermath of this Rumble. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Also, if you have not already, go and give us our answer for the question of the week, which is what's the greatest gift you received to the child. We already have like 12 responses, so Thursday is going to be a fun show.
It does not have to be a
Christian,
Christmas
I'm
present.
going to make you read because you're funny.
It does not have to be a Christmas
So,
present, birthday
on that
present.
note, let's get out of here. Thank you again, Kelly. And thank you all for dealing with this broadcast. And trust me, when most people hear this, it'll be nicely edited and nicely put together. And there'll also be music playing in the background. But till then, thank you all for joining us. We'll see you on Thursday. I'm Mike.
I'm Christian with Snoopy.
And you've been in the Generation Evolution. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you so very much. Goodbye. Mwah, and good night.